All right, let's see. Let's get this chat up. You guys in here? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat, please. Are we live? Are we live? Am I live? The big guy's tired. Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me. What up, TLT Golf? My ownership man, you legend, you. All right, looks like we're good to go. Toss your questions in here. I'm going to just go over a couple things, and I'm really just here to answer your questions. I think there's two big ways we can go about this. About building a cash lineup, which, and then we'll talk a little bit about GPPs. I just went and reserved 10 in the big $15. I just hate the contest structure and the GPPs over on DraftKings. So I just I usually just, do like 2 game builds and just attack 2 games and just hope those are the games that shoot out. Pretty sure I'm going to stack that Texas Tech Oklahoma State game in one of them. Just stack both sides of it. Just legit run 6 people in it. And then I think the other one I'm kind of leaning towards running a full game stack is this OU Texas game, because if you didn't see, Dillon Gabriel is out on the field warming up, which to me just complicates everything that much more. Because if Dillon Gabriel plays and he plays a whole game, now you got to think OU's probably going to score 28 to 35 points. And if they're going to be scoring and Texas is being pushed, that makes, in my opinion, 3 Texas players just absolute smash players. So I really would love to get news. I'm really waiting on the Gabriel news and the Lovett news to really lock in my final player pool. Those are the 2 most important guys that I need to hear about. So that's where we're at. Okay. I'm just going to answer questions. Actually, I guess I need to finish my diatribe. So I'm really watching that Lovett news. I see a question about Williams. I was going to talk about Williams from LSU, but I see a question, so I'll just save that for a minute. What was the other one? I bumped Javion Sanders up to cash. I mean, mainly just because you need a fucking punt in there, and right now he's in my cash lineup. And at 3,500, his targets just keep going up and up and up, and he's a super recruit, and he's just playing more and more. And if I think this game's going to shoot out, you want to have a guy. He's on the field legit every fucking play. Legit every play. Like, he is on the field so fucking much. Look, his total plays is more than every other player by far. He's just never off the field. And when they're on the field, a wise man once told me, you can score more points. That's what I heard. And by the way, if Dillon Gabriel plays, these OU stacks start to become very contrarian in GPPs. All right. Who was the other one I was waiting? There was I'd really like to hear about Miles Price too, but with that game being later, I just don't think you can play him in cash. I think he's a great GPP play. I'll be playing the shit out of him, and then if he's out, I'll just end up late swapping a bunch of guys. The last one, if you didn't see TOSU, I took Smith Najigba and Aztec Williams off for Ohio State, which you would think makes Travion Henderson a smash cash play, but I just can't get there because he's been so banged up this year. I'm just a little nervous. I will say I'm going to try to get him in every GPP lineup I can, because I just like Bijan, I think he has like 40-point upside today. I mean, the guy's an unbelievable player. I'm just not sure how healthy he is. He just got held out last week with injuries, and so yes, he's back this week. He is officially playing, but in what capacity is he playing? That's something I'll really need to monitor. But in a GPP, it's worth it, because in a GPP, you're just trying to hit the nuts anyway. So if he goes out hurt in the first quarter or is limited, well, that fucking lineup wasn't going to get there anyway. It was a Bob. All right, Zach wants to know, pay up for Henderson. Oh, there it is. Get him up on the screen. Zach says, pay up for Henderson and Bijan at running back to try to go with cheaper options like Charbonnet and Richardson. Yeah, so, wow, I just answered this question, kind of. So, Zach, you don't spend up. If you're going to play Travion Henderson, we're talking at cash, right? Pay up for Henderson. Now, if you're playing a GPP, you play however you want, right? I honestly encourage more risky plays at GPPs, obviously, right? Because it's going to make you different from the field. But in cash, I don't see there's any way. If you're going to find 8,200 to get Travion Henderson in your cash lineup, you find 9,000 and you get fucking Bijan in there. Because if Dillon Gabriel's going to play, I'm telling you, man, Bijan he is so good, and it's going to be such a favorable script that there's just no way he doesn't get there outside of injury. Like, I mean, I'm talking like 25-point floor. I truly believe that. He's unbelievable, and OU is unbelievably bad. So I will say, right now in my cash build, I do have Charbonnet. I don't love him against Utah's defense, but with that team total and him never leaving the field, you got to like that. I think that Richardson makes a ton of sense, but I'm just going to go with Sanders in my cash. And so because of that, I if you want to save the money, those two make sense. They really do. But I have FOMO with Bijan. I have FOMO. And when it comes to cash, it's okay to have FOMO. You got to have fear of missing out in cash. So that's my take. Doink09, is LSU running back guaranteed good amount of carries, high risk? Okay, this is the one I really want to talk about, guys. This Josh Williams, I've really cooled on him this morning, okay? Why have I cooled on him? Well, first of all, he just kind of mysteriously started last week, right? Like he wasn't supposed to – he didn't even know he was going to start. I was just reading an article about that, right? Furthermore, he only got 17 carries. Well, 17 carries is amazing for a guy at 3,000, right? That's the fucking nuts. However, he only had 69 yards on those 17 carries, so it's not like he was capped in efficiency, right? So, and he wasn't really involved in the passing game very much. So, to me, Josh Williams, I think, is going to be the mega chalk today in cash just because people need that punt spot. I hate punting at running back. I hate punting at running back in college football. I will punt at receiver. Just like I did last night with McKee. I punted at receiver. He got there. He only had 3 catches, and he got there. That's what you can do. A running back can't get there unless he basically gets a rushing touchdown. And with him, it seems like there's going to be a 3-way split. I think LSU is going to be playing from behind, which is going to hurt his game script because he's only a between the tackles kind of guy. I don't want to play him. I don't want to give up one of my running back spots. So I think he's a fine flyer in GPPs, but I'm not putting him in my cash lineup. I'm not doing it. That was the decision I made doing a little bit more research. I still think he's high upside. He could still get 20 points at 3,000, which is the nuts. And if he does, I'm probably fucked at cash. But I want a high floor and a high ceiling, and I don't think he offers a high floor. I could legit see a million scripts where he gets 3 points. So there you go. I took him out. To get my savings, right now, I think I ended up throwing to Javion Sanders in there. A guy that seems like he probably has more like an 8 to 10 point floor at 3,500, and it's a wide receiver punt. Yes, he's technically a tight end, but I'd rather punt at wide receiver than I would at running back. I need those running back points. I'm not going to punt it. I'm not going to punt at quarterback. I'm not going to punt at running back. You need those solid points, right? The difference between a punt wide receiver and a good wide receiver usually tends to be a lot smaller than the difference between a punt quarterback or a good quarterback and a punt quarterback, or a good running back and a punt running back. So I'm going to spend my money on quarterbacks, which I don't see any way that I don't go with Hooker and Sanders. They're just my dudes. I'm going to play, you know me, I'm going to play a naked Hooker. Actually, I'm not. I think I have him with Keaton right now, so I'm not playing a naked Hooker. So, with Hooker and Sanders, here's the thing about them. They just have such safe floors because they're going to probably get 50 yards rushing and probably more than a 50% chance they get at least one rush touchdown. So that right there is like a bonus 8 points you're getting with their legs that a lot of quarterbacks can't offer you, right? So I like that. And they have high team totals. And both of them have been tremendously efficient this year. When you have a quarterback that can run and is being efficient, when I say efficient, I mean he finds the end zone. I mean that he has a high pass completion. I mean that he picks up third down so he's not always leaving the fucking field. That's what efficiency is. And Hooker and Sanders so far this year have offered that. I feel like they should both be closer to 9,000, and the fact that I'm getting at 8,000, I'm finding a way to get them in there, man. Let's see. I need to bring up what do I need to bring up? Hold on. Let me get this up. This up. Okay. Let me get back to the questions over here. I'm all over Hooker today for cash, struggling between Duggan and Smith for QBs. Which do you prefer? So, Zach, to answer your question there, Sanders. That's who I prefer. I know it's hard to find the money for both those guys. So, in your question, Duggan or Smith, I would go Duggan just because I'm telling you, Duggan can fucking chug. Like, did you watch him last week? That guy, I mean, he legit has like 4 or 5 speed. That guy is a fucking stallion. And I love those safe running points, especially in college football where quarterback running is so much more prevalent than it is in the NFL. Give me Max Duggan. I do agree that Donovan Smith has big shootout potential, but he's just a pocket guy. He's a pocket guy. Okay. So, because of that, I would definitely go Duggan. Although I will warn you, Duggan did kind of have that spike week last week, so I think a lot of people are going to be maybe a little overrated on him. That would be my only concern there. But to me, that's why I keep going back to Spencer Sanders and Hooker. I get the upside of high totals in both of their games, just like I get with Donovan and Duggan. But I also get those rushing yards, which Duggan's offers, but Donovan Smith doesn't. But the biggest thing I can tell you is Sanders and Hooker seem to be much more efficient quarterbacks. Yes, Duggan was awesome last week, and Donovan has had some good weeks, but overall they haven't been week in, week out consistent players. So that's why I'm just finding the money to spend up at my 2 quarterback spots. But I get it. There's nothing wrong with playing Duggan or Donovan Smith at cash. Fuck, I marked them cash. They're clearly legitimate plays. All right. Still punting 2 wide receiver spots. Lovett and Keaton. Right now, DePeach, that's kind of who I have in there. I really like Keaton. It's more just this game total and that he got a lot of routes run last week. Like, you're looking at his numbers, you're like, he hardly plays. But you got to remember, he was a fucking nobody till Tillman went out, right? Tillman's their big stud receiver who's out again. So Keaton's kind of filled over that third receiver spot. And Tennessee passes just enough. They pass, I think, 35, 40 times a game. And so if he can just get 20% of that market share, we're talking, 7, 8 targets. And at 3,800, give me a guy who's a stud, right? That's what I really like. He's a high upside guy. He's a guy that he's like a stud athlete. He's not just in there simply because like, oh, someone's hurt. He's in there and making plays because he's like a big time recruit who's a freak of an athlete. So I like him. I really would like some news that Lovett's going to play. And by the way, I really don't love it. I don't like Missouri, this Missouri-Florida game. It's kind of a slog. But, man, if Lovett's going to get 7 plus targets, you just got to play that at 3,800 when there's not a lot of great punts on this schedule, or on this slate, excuse me. Thoughts on playing 2 Texas and 2 Oklahoma States in the same cash? I'm just banking on Brett. I think that's what I have right now. I'd have to go. I'm trying to think of my cash lineup. I think right now I have Bijan and Sanders, and I really want Worthy in there. I just think Texas is going to score so many points. And if you got a team that you think is going to score 49 points, it's definitely okay to have 2 of those guys. Okay, it probably could even get away with 3. Same with Oklahoma State. I think it is a viable option to play Spencer Sanders and Dominic Dominic Richardson, right? I think that you could stack them both together because you're probably going to have a part of every single Oklahoma State touchdown. I mean, one of them will probably score every one. Either Spencer will run it, Dominic will run it, or Spencer will throw it, right? And if you think Oklahoma State's going to score 6 touchdowns, that's a lot of fucking points in the bag. And they're such usage monsters that it's they could both get there. They could both get there. You could start out a GPP team with both of them or a cash team. Mr. Pentrini, thoughts on Kincaid from Utah as a bringback for Charbonnet and cash? Okay, I'm glad you said this, Mr. Pentrini. This is cash. We're talking about cash. You specifically asked about cash. Don't fucking worry about runbacks. There's no such thing. Cash is 8 individual pieces. You're just putting together and trying to get the most value at each of them. Okay. The fact that I have Hooker in my cash lineup and I'm running it out there with Keaton too, that's just because they're the 2 best values at those spots. It has nothing to do with stacking them. Matter of fact, I actually hate stacking. When I play cash, I love to play a naked Hooker. I love to play a naked Spencer Sanders. I don't want them correlated to anybody else because then, like if one guy does badly in your correlated lineup, well, then almost certainly 2 guys do poorly in it. I want 8 individual pieces who are undervalued at their price that offer high ceilings, right? That's what I want. So forget your runbacks, forget your stacks. Don't even think like that. You're simply just trying to find guys that you think have good floors and great ceilings. That's what I'm looking for in cash. Thoughts on Linger from Florida? Got action his first week back. Dual threat quarterback. Yeah, as I told you, Florida has a 23-point total. Missouri actually plays some decent defense. I want nothing to do with this game. The fact that I have Lovett marked is simply just based on his targets. He has been their number 1 receiver all year, and if he's going to get 7 targets, I'm playing him, but I don't love it. I don't love it. What do you want me to say? But you got to punt somewhere, and I think I'm punting at 3 different wide receiver positions. I think I have Lovett, Keaton, and Jatavion Sanders in there right now. Cash is hard today, but here's the thing, man. Here's the question. To Bijan or not to Bijan? I think that's what I meant to talk about off the top. It's just so hard in cash to not take the safe points. Furthermore, I would bet Bijan's probably going to be something like 50% owned in cash. And here's the thing. If he does smash today, you're dead. Like, you're dead if you don't play him, right? So in cash, in golf, I say, fuck you. NFL, fuck you. I don't have FOMO, and I'm not scared of missing out. But in cash, you got to be scared of missing out, because if you fade the nuts, if you fade Patrick Cantlay, like, it will kill your ass in cash, right? So you got to be very aware of that. And Bijan to me just seems like, I mean, I in my percentages, I would say 80% of the time he gets 25 plus points, and probably something like 30% of the time he gets over 30 to probably over 33 points. And at that salary, 9,000 is expensive. You're saying 25 is not even 3x, but you know how it goes. You're going to have somebody in your cash lineup shit the bed. Sometimes you're just paying for that really, really, really nice, safe, high floor. And I feel like that's what Bijan offers you, unless he gets hurt. That's literally the only way he doesn't get there, I think. Because he's on the field the whole fucking game. They throw it to him. He runs it. He gets the goal line carries. And he's just an unbelievable talent playing a team that can't fucking tackle. Which, by the way, Billy Bowman for OU's out, who is definitely their best tackler, and the one guy that keeps those 8-yard runs from turning into 60-yard runs. Richardson's with Sanders okay in cash? I think so, TLT Golf. I just talked about that a minute ago. I kind of, as I was just talking about this a minute ago, I don't like my pieces to be very connected in my cash lineup. I want 8 individual pieces. And you put Sanders and Richardson together, that's definitely a correlation. They're on the same fucking team. But I feel like that they're going to score so many points today, and they run the ball so well, and Texas Tech's not going to be able to stop them, that both of those guys could get there. I ended up switching Richardson down to Charbonnet, and I just did that because I needed a few $100 extra to get the fuck off of Williams. I didn't want to play Williams from LSU. I had to get him out of my lineup. Bill, we're still waiting on Lovett. I've been hitting refresh on him. I'm just over here on Twitter, just putting in Dominic Lovett and just hoping somebody with the latest. He's warming up early. There you go. So, questionable with ankle injury, is going through pregame warmups. He's currently jogging along the sidelines. Hoping. All right. I mean, this isn't great that we're sitting here, wanting to play a banged up $3,800 receiver. I'm not going to lie to you. That's not great, Bob. Who the fuck else am I going to play? Like, at some point, even at cash, you got to take some risks, because I want the safe points with Hooker, Sanders, Bijan, Charbonnet, right? Oh, and I really like Charlie Jones. I feel like this is a very good game for him with those targets, that total, this environment. Charlie Jones, I got to play him. I got FOMO. He's an $8,000 receiver. They got at $7,000. Who's going to get 12 targets? And the guy's good. He's a good football player. I've watched him a lot this year. A little scrappy white guy. Just saw Lovett on the field warming up. Thanks, Brett. Let's see here. Thoughts on Jay Daniels from Kansas as a super flex in cash. Man, here's the thing with old Daniels. I think that he's a GPP play and a smash GPP play, right? He has 40-point upside. But, man, we saw last week that he can be shut down. Like, he didn't do shit last week. And, this there is a high total here, and he can get it done. But, I think TCU has some dudes, and they might contain him just a little bit. And I think teams are starting to realize that Jalen Daniels is basically the only weapon Kansas has, and they're going to try to start limiting him, right? A lot of quarterback spies and stuff like that. I love Jalen Daniels and GPPs. I can't get there in cash. If I'm going to play 6,900 in cash, I'm just going to find the extra 300 and get to Max Duggan, or I'll find the extra 100 and get to Donovan Smith. Right? That's what I would do. Jalen Daniels has an 8-point floor. I will agree. He has a 40-point ceiling, but an 8-point floor. And I just don't want to play a guy with an 8-point floor in my cash lineup, especially that I'm paying $7,000 for, or $6,900. Nice. DePeach, is Bijan and Jadeveon negative EV? I don't know where the fuck you get that from. Jadeveon, I mean, you're telling me there's not a game where Bijan could get 30 points and Sanders could get 10? If that happens, I'm dancing in the streets naked. My cash lineup's good. Those two are strongly correlated together. You're probably thinking, well, one's a running back, one's a receiver. Yeah, but you also got to look at, like, Bijan just is a usage monster, and Jadeveon being that low is that low of salary doesn't have to do much to deliver on that price tag. Furthermore, I'm pretty sure Texas has a 37-point total, so we're talking nearly 5.5 touchdowns that's expected out of that. I would say at minimum, Sanders and Robinson will account for 2 of them. Then you factor in their yards and receptions. It's very easy for them both to get there. I think Texas has the safest team total on the slate. Maybe OU comes out and learns how to play fucking defense, but I doubt it. All right, thoughts on Neighbors at LSU at receiver. Do I even fucking have him on here? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Man, LSU's, I don't know what to fucking make of them. I honestly don't even get why their team total's 31. I just don't get it. Like, they're not very good. But I hope they score 31, because if they score 31, then fucking Hooker's going to be out there throwing and running like a madman for 4 quarters. And when he's doing that, he probably has like a 25-point floor. Like, I mean, if he's playing 4 full competitive quarters, he probably has a 25-point floor. I mean, maybe he gets vultured on every touchdown or something, but I'll take my chances, Bob. I'll take my chances. So, DePeach, I would be totally down to run some Neighbors as a run back against Hooker and some GPP plays. But as far as Cash, don't even fucking think about him for a second. Don't think about him for a second. LSU's left tackle is out today. Well, not that we need any more reason to think LSU's going to fucking suck. All right. Everyone is going to try to jam Ewers, Bijan, and Worthy together. Bijan plus Sanders is a way to pivot and get the exposure. Well, Asquith, if you guys don't know, that guy, he knows him some college football. So I'd listen to him. And the whole thing with Ewers is he is a very fair price tag in a game where he's probably going to score a lot. He probably could be a cash play. I'm just not convinced that like he isn't very susceptible to getting hurt again. Never forget that the Sam Bradford back in 2009 had the exact same injury that Ewers has, and he tried to come back early for the OU Texas game, and every fucking Texas player was just going after him, and he didn't even make it through the first quarter before he re-injured it, and it was out for the season. And I think you're a fool if you don't think OU is trying to go find the weak spot on Quinn Ewers and hurt him. Let's be honest. That's not OU's low character. Everybody tries to hurt the other guy's quarterback. That's why you never hear people talk about where they're injured. You don't want to give your opponent your weaknesses, right? Nick says LSU's offense is atrocious, but Booty given. Yeah, I agree that Booty is a great GPP option. Love him. I love him at GPPs. The guy, let's not forget, he was projected as a top 10 pick. He's a true talent. But I can also see this game being 31-10 Tennessee. I can too. 3,100 left for a flex. What should I be looking at for a player in cash? Well, if you got 3,100, I guess you got to go with Josh Williams. Because it's like Josh Williams at 3,000, and then the next kind of one up is maybe like Matt Landers or Jadavion Sanders at 3,500. And then if you can find a little bit more, then you can get up to Lovett, or you can get up to Ramal Keaton. Cash is tough today, guys. I normally do somewhere between $500 to $1,000 in cash lineups. I think I'm only doing, I don't know, maybe $350 today. I just don't. I do it based on how much I love my cash lineup, and I just like my cash lineup today. I definitely don't love it. Scaling back a little bit today. I'm tracking my numbers very closely so I can do an end of the year analysis of my results for you guys, so you can see it's not like, ooh, I just sit here and print money like the fucking Federal Reserve. And I'm tracking each sport, and I'm really trying to be conscious of just being a profitable player and not a screenshot hero for Twitter, because it's easy. If I wanted to just go mass enter, I would get a lot of great screenshots to post, but I don't want to be risking $5,000 a slate to try to chase screenshots. I'm really trying to practice sustainability. It might not be good for the brand, but it's what I'm fucking doing. People can eat a dick if they don't like it. All right, other questions. I let's see. TLT Golf. What about Xavier White for tech? Allows Hooker Bijan. Let's see. White for tech. Let me look him up real quick, brother. Let's see. I don't know if I have him here. Texas Tech. Okay. Yeah, I mean, especially, I guess if you hear the price is out, he's okay. But man, Texas Tech, trying to guess Texas Tech's wide receivers is like playing the lottery, brother. That's a tough scene. I don't know if I would, in cash I can't do it. And in my GPPs, because I'm going to be attacking this game, I'm definitely going to mix that in. But, the whole point of cash is you have to have some type of floor, right? And I don't think any Texas Tech receiver offers a floor. Let's see. John Gold JD's texting me. Let's see what this motherfather wants. Just finished building college football tourney lineup. Final Rosetta Stone. See you at the top. John did fucking college football for the first time last week and almost fucking binked the, I think it was the $100 single entry. The guy's got the magic touch. Let's see. I'm going to tell him to hop on the stream. Hop in the chat. Okay. Other questions. Targets up with price out. TLT Golf, I agree. That is true. I still can't get there in cash, man. We still don't even know what they're going to do. Sanders is a super flex on FanDuel or someone else. If you're talking about Jatavion Sanders, Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty fair price. I think you could get away with it. And I want to get as many Texas players as I can, especially if it looks like Dylan Gabriel's going to play. Because Texas will be scoring some points, brother. Keaton Lovett, Keaton Lovett and Jatavion gets Charbonnet, Bijan, Jones. Are those punts maybe too thin? Well, DePeach, I can answer that one real quick. As of right now, those are my punts to make those guys fit in my lineup. But as I just said earlier, I would say I like my cash lineup. I don't love it, right? So that's where I'm at. Yo, there he is. There's the Smidge. Ask a question, Smidge. Tell us about all the money you're gonna win. Petrini says, Okie State quarterback. Sorry for not clarifying. Sanders. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Guys, make sure. I know I've said this 100 times, but some of you may be new. By the way, welcome, new guy. I'm glad you're here, brother. See how much nicer I am on the Discord streams than I am on the YouTube streams? Some have called me a prick. Petrini, are all of you guys, make sure you play 2 quarterbacks, right? Make sure your super flex and your quarterback are both quarterbacks. I would say you have to play a quarterback unless you figured out how to break the algorithm. But not only do that, if you're doing a cash lineup, I want to keep my quarterbacks. I want to have running quarterbacks because that offers a safer floor. And I want to have quarterbacks that are not particularly correlated to anything else, right? Once again, you got to hear this. I'm only probably playing Ramel Keaton in my cash lineup, not because he's with Hooker. Matter of fact, that's a huge negative for me. I just need a fucking punt, and I think he offers good upside. So that's why he's in there. If I were playing Quinn Ewers, that would make me less interested in playing Xavier Worthy and Jadavion Sanders. I don't want those two things connected because now if it goes wrong, the whole lineup could be shot when you whiff on 2 guys. Hold on. The big guy needs some cold brew. Okay. Any other questions? I think we got 10 o'clock, so we're about an hour from kick. The big thing I'm going to be checking is I just want to hear that Lovett's playing. The fact that he's warming up is a good sign. Let's hit refresh real quick. See if there's anything new. Lovett warming up. Okay, we've already heard it, you motherfathers. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Look, if you want to fade Bijan, I get it. I really do. Maybe you just go play Worthy and Sanders instead, right? Get action in the game that way. And then that if you don't play Robinson, it opens up so much, right? But I'm telling you, this Josh Williams is going to be super popular at cash. I get it. I really do based on last week. But I just think LSU is going to be in a negative script. I'm okay fading that. Maybe it burns me if a fucking 4-string running back who is inefficient, he personally is inefficient, and an inefficient offense gets there, and I don't cash what the fuck ever. I'll play my punts at receiver as always. Lovett, Keaton, Sanders. Those will be my punts. I'll just punt at wide receiver. Did it last night. Worked out well for me. My boy McKee got there. Who was that one? Freescorn or whatever you guys were talking about? Didn't play him, but I saw him get there for you motherfathers. Hooker, Keaton, and my main GPPs. Well, we all know Smidge loves, by the way, if you don't know, Smidge is John Gall JD. And you know he loves a hooker. Hooker and blow. That's what we always say about Smidge. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to go put together some GPP lineups. Probably just going to stack 2 games. I'm telling you, in GPPs, there is some real value down here in Emeka Buka and Travion Henderson. Man, they're really sexy. Everybody in that Ohio State with that kind of team total, I mean, they're all so appealing. They just have such better players and explosive players and explosive offense, and they're kind of assholes and running up on people. So Ohio State is like, and there's some great one-off pieces. I think you can play Abuka naked. You can play Henderson naked, and I think they're great one-offs. Man, if you can get a lineup with Henderson and Bijan in it, they both got 40-point upsides, I'm telling you. They're expensive as shit. I mean, relatively speaking. So, that's it. I don't think I got anything else. You guys have stopped asking questions, so I think we'll end it there. The big guy's going to go make some lineups. Let me get my OBS up. I'll still be in the Discord chat as much as possible, which you guys see. I'm pretty fucking good at responding. So I'll be in there if you have any questions. Don't forget, hey, you look at me, new guy. Me and John Gall JD are doing a live stream tonight, 8 o'clock, Lord's time zone. Be there. It's for NFL. So and then we're going to turn right around and do the Discord one right after that. So, and that'll just be a brief one, right? Because we're going to say any good questions we're not going to give to the fucking peasants on YouTube. We're going to give that to our brothers in the Discord. So, I think that's it. Good luck today. Boomer fucking Sooner. Hold on. Where's my hat? Where the fuck is my hat? I don't have my hat. I'm probably going to get fucking smoked. Bye, guys.